All right, welcome to the WWE podcast. No intro today, just right to business. As Night of Champions comes to us tomorrow afternoon, well, depending on where you are, of course, it's coming to us 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Kind of an odd time for a wrestling show, but it is what it is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The show is on. If you haven't already guessed, there's no chance of it being canceled. There were a lot of rumors, but we're moving forward. It seems like WWE, that is certainly more invested in making sure that they are fulfilling the contract with Saudi Arabia. And hey, money. They were projected to make $50 million from this event. And as long as they don't believe any of the safety of their talent and or those in the stadium are at risk, then they're just moving on. And it seems like that's what they're doing. And I really don't blame them. I know that may really, some of you may really disagree with that, but if they are contractually obligated to fulfill this event and there are no real imminent threats, then move on, right? Just do the show, and that's what they're doing. So, all right. We're going to get to the predictions in just a second. We'll get with my predictions up front, and then we'll go through some emails from you guys about Night of Champions and anything else that you've got. If you want to email us, mailbag@wwepodcast.com is the place and the address that you'd send your questions or comments. And if we have any voicemails, we'll play those as well. The email, or rather the voicemail, you guys can check us out. It's on every mailbag description note or episode notes, so you can check that out and just copy and paste the number. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, we'll play it on the show. All right. Also, if you want to go ad-free, good time to do it. Patreon.com/WWE podcast, and you get a Discord server and ad-free everything. 1 week free trials going on, as well as on Apple Podcasts. So subscribe. All right, let's go to the very first match here. And I'm going through Bleacher Report in terms of their projected match order. They very well may be right. It seems certainly like it's going to be a very reasonable order of the matches here. So let's go through them. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Sami Zayn, absolutely. I mean, you got to have a babyface open the show, one that gets people on their feet, gets the noise level up, and Sami Zayn is the perfect guy for that. And so he's taking on Karrion Kross here. One good thing, too, about this before I get into the actual match itself, I'm happy for Karrion Kross getting a one-on-one match at a PLE, right? We didn't see a whole lot of change creatively since the whole WrestleMania promo that exploded for Karrion and then it got lost. And he's gotten a little bit of backstage stuff. Sami Zayn this past week, Sami Zayn punches him in the face, and it seemed like it was a setup for Karrion, and he's trying to discourage Sami that he'll ever be champion. It's nice to see some consistency, and for Karrion to get a one-on-one match here on a PLE, big deal if you're a Karrion Kross fan. Now, here's the bad news. Karrion Kross is in all likelihood going to lose. Sami Zayn is a heavy favorite here, and with good reason. There's this undercurrent storyline going on that Sami Zayn will never capture the world championship, and then we have some stars saying on air, "Oh no, you'll be a future world champion. You keep getting at it, kid." Sami Zayn forever is playing this underdog character. I don't know when we're ever going to get to the point where he's not an underdog. At least he's not from the underground anymore, so there's baby steps, I guess. But Sami Zayn's character and his music and his look, I don't think he'll ever be able to shake the underdog character, underdog feel, even if that's not explicitly the story they're trying to tell. But Sami Zayn here taking on Karrion Kross. Sami has to win if there's any chance of Sami Zayn moving forward towards an eventual world championship victory. And that's, I think, where they're headed. Now, they could actually have a Sami Zayn versus Gunther match. Remember, Sami Zayn's the one that took the Intercontinental title off of Gunther at WrestleMania. It would be very poetic for Sami Zayn to take the world championship off of Gunther maybe at WrestleMania 42. That's actually what I'd be aiming for. To be honest with you, if you have a plan for Sami Zayn, that's a perfect plan. Not that I want Gunther to lose. Maybe he can actually win a WrestleMania match once in a while. I don't know why they feel Gunther's in this. He's already in legacy mode of giving back to the company already. He's not. He's just beginning the prime of his career. So and I know WWE has been just trying to help other guys get made off of Gunther, but Gunther still has to get made himself. He still needs some damn momentum. So I don't want Sammy to beat Gunther if that is the plan, but I understand that it is at least it's a long-term story. It makes sense. They could go back to, hey, Sammy is the one that took the IC belt off of Gunther a couple of years ago. Now he's going to take the world championship off of Gunther at WrestleMania. Yeah, so we'll see if we get there. We'll see. But Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, I expect the match to be fine. We already know match quality is never seemingly an issue with really anything, any of these stars that are just really anybody in WWE. When's the last time you saw a match you're like, that was just awful? You know, I mean, outside, okay, maybe the WrestleMania Night 2 main event. For a lot of other reasons, I think we hated it, but match quality, it's never usually a problem. So this will probably be a 10-minute match. Sami Zayn gets the victory. He has to. Okay, moving on. Street fight. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Again, this is the projected match order according to Bleacher Report. And this should be a lot of fun. We have Rodriguez and Rhea getting this mini rivalry going on. Roxanne Perez is probably going to show up at some point. Obviously, with Liv out of the equation for several months, she's not available. So I expect this to be fun. Table spots, probably she'll end up beating Raquel with my guess is, to be really specific, a riptide through a Slim Jim table. It better be a Slim Jim table or she won't be able to get the victory. That's my guess, because that was the spot that she was trying to hit last week, and then Raquel ended up hitting a Tejada bomb on Ripley. So I think a turnabout is fair play. And yes, we'll have some interference. Roxanne Perez will get involved. I don't know if anybody else really is in really any kind of rivalry with Rhea that would make sense for her to get involved here, but that's my guess, and Rhea Ripley ultimately is going to get the victory and move on. Raquel Rodriguez has no business winning. They don't seem that they're ever really going to do much with her. She's been a background character for quite a while. I'm not saying she couldn't come out to the front, but there's no feel. There's not that like that underlying feeling from fans of, oh, she's underutilized, underpushed. We want Rodriguez. There's none of that. It's just kind of, we know her role as fans. We've accepted it. And WWE seemingly has too. And Ripley is light years ahead of Rodriguez in star power. So I think Ripley gets the victory here. And it should be a fun match with a lot of table spots, weapons, chairs, kendo sticks, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it'll be a violently fun match with Rhea Ripley ultimately getting the victory here. I can't see another way unless they're trying to really make Rodriguez into something. But my guess is no. So we then move on to the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. This one has to be Jacob Fatu winning. So far, the first three matches, I feel highly confident about. There's just no need to fool around here. Jacob Fatu is trying to cement himself here as a legitimate champion. Fans are still behind him. And Solo Sikoa, there's just not a place for him to win the championship here yet. I understand it's not the top belt. It's still one of the mid-card belts, the U.S. title. But Jacob Fatu, it feels like he just won it. And he doesn't need to drop it to Solo. There's really nothing here that would benefit Jacob for doing that. And I think fans would be like, what the hell? So Jacob Fatu wins, probably some interference or some support from Jimmy Uso on the behalf of Jacob. I do not want to see Jimmy turn heel for the 49th time. I don't want to see him, oh my God, Jimmy Uso coming out. Looks like he's going to hit Solo, and wham, he hits Fatu. I don't need that. It's a straightforward matchup here with Jacob Fatu ending up getting the victory over Solo Sikoa clean. Now, yes, you're going to have his minions, Solo's minions on the outside trying to run interference. But again, Jimmy Uso should be able to dispatch of them pretty easily. And Jacob Fatu gets the victory. Queen of the Ring final. Asuka versus Jade Cargill. This is an interesting match for me. And not an easy one either. Because, remember, as I need to often, the winners get an opportunity for the title at SummerSlam. So, with that being the case, Asuka winning would be fun. Because if Asuka wins, Then you're able to have a really fun main event at SummerSlam at the women of Asuka versus Tiffany Stratton, Jade versus Tiffany Stratton, or if they want to cross brands because no one cares, you could do, Asuka on one side, and then you can have Io Sky on the other. Asuka versus Io, that's fun. Jade versus Io. This is, Jade versus Io would probably be the best thing ever for Jade in terms of just being able to have her best match ever because Io's that good. But also it could be an exposure of how limited that, Jade Cargill is compared to Io Sky. Again, this is all assuming that, you're able to cross brands. If they're not, then Jade versus Tiffany Stratton is also a fun kind of power matchup. Power versus power. And you have Asuka versus Tiffany Stratton as well. It really is something that there's no bad combination. And if they're really trying to make a star out of Jade, then Jade is probably going to win this. If they care about trying to build Jade, if they want a better match, then they'll probably go with Asuka. So, still, this is not an easy call to make. I'm going to say that Jade Cargill wins because she hasn't yet got a title shot. I still don't think she's ready to carry the belt at all. And I don't mean that from obviously a looks perspective, more of just she still hasn't found herself on the mic. Fans still don't know who the hell she is. She's just this woman that it is so obsessed with how she looks that, it is pretty incredible with how she looks physically, but that's going to fade, and it has faded. And I don't think fans are ready to embrace her as champion yet. And fans do love Tiffany. Fans have supported Tiffany for a long time now, waited for her to win. She defeated Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. But I don't think fans are ready to embrace Jade. There's no real connection with Jade. It's still all surface level. So my guess is that Jade will win. She'll get a title shot, but I think she'll lose at SummerSlam. But I'm rooting for Asuka because I want a better match. And that's just me. All right. On the men's side of things, the King of the Ring finals for the men, we have Cody versus Randy Orton. Man, this is a match I really wish didn't have to happen until there was a turn by Orton or Cody. Because we all know there's rumors now, we're at the tail end of Cody's run, and that's what he alluded to. I hope we're at the end of Cody's babyface run. You guys know I've been saying this forever. But I really wish this match happened when there was a villain here, and it's not just, two good guys. I know that it's two guys that haven't been in the ring together in a while. There's a lot of history there, but that's the problem is you're not able to pull on that history because it's not a blood feud. It's simply about trying to get a title shot. That's it. So you're really handicapping yourself by not being able to pull on all of their history for the last 20 years. So that's what sucks. And again, I was hoping the first time they locked up, it would be, because somebody turned heel, and that's not the case. Now, you could still have somebody turn heel at the end of this, but it doesn't seem like that's the setup for anything. That doesn't seem like the timing's right on that. So, Cody versus Randy. Who do I think wins? Well, Cody Rhodes probably wins this and then faces John Cena in a rematch because Randy Orton winning and facing John Cena again doesn't make sense. Now, you could have Randy somehow sneak his way in and make it a triple threat at SummerSlam against John Cena, but I think you're going to have Cody Rhodes win. We're going to get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes Part 2 at SummerSlam. So, that's my best guess here. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, Jacob versus Solo Sikoa. You could, well, actually, no, I'm not going to say it because I think the return I'm thinking of that you're all thinking of, you would think would be Fatu versus Solo, but it's more likely for the next match here of John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. And that is the return of Roman Reigns. Now, if Roman does return, I I don't want it to I don't want it to be where John Cena loses the belt. I'm not ready for a CM Punk WWE Championship run because John Cena is not ready to drop the belt yet. It would, I think, kind of cut the legs out from underneath John Cena when it comes to his run with that belt. There's, as John Cena has said, there's a lot of pivots going on that we don't know about backstage. Now that we are really coming to the end of his run, it's truly the end coming up. Honestly, I don't think that there is anything John Cena can do at this point or say to the crowd that's going to get us to say, screw you, John, we're going to boo you. Because the reality of him leaving setting in is going to trump anything that he can say or try to get the crowd to boo him on. He can run us down and call us trash and spoiled. And it doesn't matter because we're all going to see through it. And we're not going to give a damn. We're just going to be like, John, whatever you say, John, sure. But we're still going to cheer because this is truly the end. And reality will always trump fantasy here of trying to manipulate us into booing you. It's not going to supersede what we all see to be true. And that is that John Cena, you are leaving, and we just want to say goodbye and thank you. And people I think are going to gravitate to that. You're already starting to feel the turn back to a babyface from his, attempted, although albeit mildly failed run as a heel. But that I think is good. It's going to be a trend that continues here as John Cena's dates whittle down, and as he gets closer to the end, fans are just going to cheer John, and there's nothing that anyone can do. It's just going to happen because more and more people are going to realize that, hey, man, I'm not playing into the little story here. Like, this is it, and I'm just going to enjoy John being here and cheer for him. That's what people are doing, and it's already happening now. And the promo he cut, the pipe bomb promo last week that he cut on Punk, kind of solidified that too, where you have, John Cena. I mean, at the end of that promo, he was getting cheered, and there's nothing you can do. It's over. He might as well just go back full babyface at this point. Now, the question is, though, how does Roman Reigns come in here if he is coming in? Well, he could come in at the end, end up chasing down Heyman, maybe spearing Heyman if he wants to, although I don't ever really have the desire to see Paul Heyman get his ass kicked. I just never do, because I don't want Paul Heyman taking bumps. He doesn't need to. So John Cena is not going to drop the belt here. I expect the match to be okay. And I say okay because these guys now are, since their 2011 match, that's 14 years ago. These guys are 14 years older. And it's not going to be better than their 2011 Money in the Bank match in Chicago. It's just not. We can't. Just take that bar away right now. It's not going to happen. So I think you're going to have John Cena retain against CM Punk, and you could see a return of Roman Reigns here. Could. I'm not predicting it, but it's on the table as possible at least. So there you go. As a reminder, Sami Zayn wins, Rhea Ripley wins, Jacob Fatu retains. I'm predicting Jade to win, although I'm rooting for Asuka. I'm thinking Cody Rhodes wins and John Cena retains with a potential Roman Reigns return. All right, let's hear from you guys. Let's go into some of these emails, and let's start with Andrew from Flint. He says, does the Women's Intercontinental Belt feel more important than the Women's World Championship at the moment? I've only seen Io sparingly on TV. Meanwhile, you have big names like Becky Lynch and Bayley fighting for the mid-card title. I am more invested in the storyline too. Well, that's the problem with the women's belts in general, is that there's no consistency with any of them. I mean, just look at the women's tag titles that were introduced, for God's sakes. That's a trend that has continued with really all the belts that the women carry. There is more importance right now with the Intercontinental title belt. At least it feels like that. Because again, you have bigger stars chasing that belt and talking about that belt. And I think that is what's really doing it here. You have Becky Lynch and Bayley, two of the OGs of the Four Horsewomen. They're entertaining, and we haven't seen Becky Lynch and Bayley in a long time inside a ring together. So thanks, Andrew. Let's talk to, let's see here. Boston. And Boston says, if you could bring back one of these writers to save the WWE from Triple H, would you choose the mastermind behind the Attitude Era, Vince Russo, or the man who carried the WWE into the 2000s, Brian Gewirtz? I mean, this isn't even like for me, this is just like a slam dunk answer. Brian Gewirtz. I mean, Vince Russo is, I actually think he hates professional wrestling. He really does. And I've got nothing personally against him. Everything with him, some of his ideas are just off the wall. I mean, look what he did to WCW. Look what he did to WCW and the storylines he created in WCW when he was running talent for a brief period over there, or creative over there. He made himself world champion. I mean, that really put the nail in the coffin of the their run. I mean, that wasn't the cause or the primary reason, but it was just kind of like a icing on the cake. Yeah, that this whole thing's finished during the NWO, and that came watered down and all that. He really was just terrible in WCW creatively. And so you have Vince Russo, he's kind of off the wall, and I really don't believe he likes professional wrestling, or at least he doesn't like today's version of professional wrestling. I mean, I'm the one who should talk, right? I mean, I'm constantly criticizing today's product. But I don't know. This to me is Brian Gewirtz. It's not even close. Okay. Let's see here. Let's talk to DJ Quick. He says, after this PLE, there will be 6 PLE dates remaining for the summer of 2025. Let's not waste any time. You've got a lot of stuff and work related on this Friday before the PLE, so let's go. No spoilers for your predictions. Jade Cargill is going to win against Asuka. All right. Rhea wins against Raquel Rodriguez. Fatu retains his U.S. title. Cross wins his international PLE debut. Okay. You think Cody wins and Cena wins. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch and chat with you during Night of Champions. I missed the Discord chat. Hopefully, I'll make it back for one of the remaining 6 PLEs. All right. Yeah. Well, DJ, enjoy and try not to stress yourself out. It sounds like you're pretty busy. So do what you can, my friend. And so, okay, yeah, the only one we differ on is Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross here. And I'm not rooting against Kross, but it just creatively doesn't seem to make sense given all of the kind of foundational work they're laying for Sami Zayn eventually capturing a world championship. The constant chatter about other stars telling him he will or he won't be eventually a world champion someday. That, to me, it would make no sense if they're really trying to lay the foundation for him to become world champion if he loses to Karrion Kross here, given what Karrion Kross has meant up to this point, which, to be honest, is not a lot. His star power is growing, but it's not at the point where him losing to Karrion Kross would be like, well, Sammy lost, but, it's to Karrion Kross, so, there's no shame in that. It's like, no, in terms of pecking order, Karrion Kross is not even anywhere near. I mean, he's not even in the same ballpark as Sami Zayn is in terms of just, the ranking, if you were to rank star power right now. So I want Karrion Kross to succeed, but based on just what I'm seeing from storyline perspective, I think Sammy should win. So cool. Thanks, DJ. I don't know if we have any other emails. That might be it. I think that is. So with that said, I got a couple of voicemails for you, and we'll rock those out and then close out the show. So pretty abbreviated show today, but let's see what we got.
This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag Show. Records you live on a Wednesday morning, and you know what time it is. It's time to
say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
That's right, folks. Joe Hendry is his name as I take you to my 50th episode of The Drudge Report. And like always, coming to you live from an undisclosed location. We are 4 weeks away. That's right, folks. 4 weeks away till TNA Slammiversary, TNA's WrestleMania style event, which will be happening on Sunday, July 20th, live from Elmont, New York in Long Island at the UBS Arena. So far, we only have one match that has been added to this card, Moose versus Leon Slater for the X Division Championship. But on this past episode of TNA Pro Wrestling, TNA celebrated their 23rd year in professional wrestling because way back on June 19th, 2002, it was TNA's first ever TNA Slammiversary, and now we're 23 years later and they're still in the business. But on this episode of TNA Pro Wrestling, we had the epic 10-man tag team match, a champions challenge of all of the men's champions going up against their potential contenders for TNA Slammiversary. Of course, like I mentioned last week, this champions challenge match had these two separate teams in 5 guys. And the champions were, in this match, we had Trick Williams, the TNA champion, Moose, the X Division champion, Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth, the TNA tag team champions, and of course, the TNA International champion, Steve Maclin, as they went up against their potential contenders in Joe Hendry. We had Elijah, Leon Slater, of course, the tag team known as the Rascals of Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. This match lasted 20 minutes and 4 seconds as this was the main event for TNA's 23rd anniversary episode. In this match, I must mention 2 quick things. And those 2 quick things are, this was the first time that Joe Hendry and Trick Williams were in the ring against each other ever since Trick Williams became the new TNA World Champion at NXT Battleground. The second point, Steve Maclin, who supposedly is the only babyface on this heel team, was not being appreciated well in this match, as most of the guys, especially Trick Williams and the Nemeth brothers, were quickly tagging him in and out throughout this match, as this was the seed that was planted to help the babyfaces of Joe Hendry and his all-star team get the victory. As we fast forward through the course of this match, like I mentioned, Steve Maclin was getting disrespected by his own team, and at one point, Steve Maclin attacked one of the members in the Champions Challenge match. But as we get close towards the ending of this match, we finally get to see that face-off of Joe Hendry and Trick Williams, which then leads to a fall-away slam on Trick Williams by Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry also delivered fall-away slams to the Nemeth brothers of Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth after when Joe Hendry delivered the standing ovation to Ryan Nemeth. Then Elijah hits the tombstone to Ryan Nemeth, and 1, 2, 3. In this Champions Challenge match, Joe Hendry and his TNA All-Stars get the victory as they continue their momentum into TNA Slammiversary, and just hopefully, Joe Hendry can get that all-important rematch against Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. But then last night on NXT, after when Trick Williams successfully defended the TNA World Championship against Josh Briggs, Trick Williams cuts a promo saying that how he's the greatest TNA champion of all time as he carries both NXT and TNA. But as he continues to brag about himself, we get the return of somebody that we haven't seen in a very long time, and that is none other than Joe Hendry. His music hits, but he does not come at the entrance ramp as Trick Williams is trying to figure out where is Joe Hendry coming from. Joe Hendry comes from behind and delivers 2 clotheslines to Trick Williams, and then a 3rd clothesline he delivers to Trick Williams as he goes outside of the ring. We fast forward to a backstage segment during the midpoint of the show where we have Trick Williams, Wesley, and High Rise. Wesley informs Trick Williams that he wants to take on Joe Hendry next week on an episode of NXT. Trick Williams says that he likes that idea and that if he and High Rise could take care of Joe Hendry for him, Trick Williams will have something for both High Rise and Wesley. Then we fast forward to another backstage segment, and this one is with Sarah Schreiber as she interviews Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry says it's great to be back in NXT. Sarah says to remind us that the last time that we saw Joe Hendry on NXT was the night that he dropped his TNA World Championship to Trick Williams at NXT Battleground. Joe says that this was the singular moment that he thinks about every single day of his life. But then he says he can't control the past, but he could control the future, and the future is TNA Slammiversary, where he could finally get his chance to regain the TNA World title against Trick Williams. He then says Trick has made it very comfortable showing up whenever he wants on TNA, so Joe says, what about if I return the favor and show up on NXT whenever I feel like showing up? He's on a mission, and that mission is to be the next TNA World Champion. Now, it's been official that on TNA Slammiversary, Joe Hendry will finally get his rematch, his championship rematch, against Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship. Always remember to believe. Say his name. Always remember the words that Joe Hendry says anytime, any place, at any show. And most importantly, always remember to do this.
Wave your hands from side to side and say, oh, I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is so prestigious.
Once again, this is your guy, DJ Kuzmo. Have a blessed week. Be kind to one another. Stay safe, my friends. Believe and peace.
As always, thank you, DJ, for your contributions here, keeping us up to date on Joe Hendry and Trick Williams and Elijah with the tombstone. I didn't know that's his move now. Okay, that's cool. Nice to see Elijah back. I appreciate all of the kind of outside analysis here with, again, this show that most likely most people aren't watching, which is great. I have seen a little bit on the internet lately, though, of Joe Hendry not getting much of a reaction. Is this true? Is Joe Hendry actually getting? Is his support waning? I hope not, because I've seen some clips where it's showing Joe Hendry with his entrance and not many people are cheering, or I don't know if it's just internet fodder or just clickbait or whatever. But I hope that's not the case. It's kind of normal for cycles of support to happen, even with big stars. But I hope that this is not true for Joe Hendry and he continues the upward trajectory. So thank you for that, and looking forward to your contributions. And again, DJ, take it easy, my friend. Don't do anything that'll burn you out. We all feel like we're burning out, don't we? Though there's always something going on, always something. It's just, but what I've learned is you just gotta live in the moment. I know that's so cliche, but because the problem is, for me at least, I think about everything all at once. I mean, you think about everything all at once, it overwhelms you because you realize, oh my God, I can't get everything done. Well, yeah, you can't get everything done at that moment, right? You just got to keep doing things that you can do and move forward with what's in front of you. So there's my spiel, my speech for the day. All right, really abbreviated show here tonight, but I will be back if I can. I'll be back tomorrow night with the review of Night of Champions, given that the PLE is Saturday afternoon, Eastern time anyway. So I may and will try to put out the review late, probably not late, maybe like mid-evening on Saturday. All right, consider going to VIP. Head on over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.